Rhonda Ohlson from Woman Time. Let the true colours shine through and express the real you. This week I started teaching again, and I did a free lesson for my clients about breathing better to stimulate your immune system. I thought at this time when we're all dealing with this coronavirus, how can we build our immune system? And so I've been reading this book called The Breathing Cure by Patrick McKeown, and he has some wonderful ideas and wonderful exercises in it to stimulate your immune system to fight the coronavirus, hopefully. And so I thought I'd share these with you today. The first thing he talks about is breathing through your nose. The nose is specially designed to filter pathogens and not the mouth. So when we breathe through our nose, we have a much more efficient way of reducing pathogens in our system. So to breathe through your nose, obviously we close your mouth. Then he talks about breathing, what he calls it LSD, breathing light, the L, breathing slow, and then breathing deep. So I thought I'd just show you these today, just in a very quick way, and you can explore these by coming to my classes and or by getting his book and reading it yourself. So the light breath is closing your mouth, obviously, and imagine you've got a little feather just underneath your nose here, and that as you breathe in, you'll feel that nice cool air coming in, but the feather doesn't move. It's just a light breath. And then as you breathe out, the feather doesn't move either, and you feel the warmer air. Now, the more strongly you breathe out, the warmer that air will get. So what you're eventually aiming for is that the breathing, there's not much difference in the temperature between the cool air that comes in and the air that comes out. So that's a light aspect of the breath. The slow aspect is breathing, he says, optimally 6 breaths a minute. That means 10 seconds for each breath, doing it in the ratio of 4 breaths in, 4 seconds breathing in, and 6 seconds breathing out. So that would be breathing in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then she says, keep going with this for 3 or 4 minutes. And what you'll notice is that you'll start to feel air hunger, which is when your tendency will want to go and gulp in the breath. But just override that tendency and just keep taking those light, slow breaths. And if you're feeling too anxious doing that, just stop and do a couple of normal breaths and then go back to the breath. And gradually your tolerance will build up. When I first started doing this, I was gulping really just right almost immediately, but gradually I built up my tolerance, and which allows, once that builds up, it allows the oxygen carbon dioxide ratio to be used optimally in the body to help you in your immune system. And then the last aspect of this is the deep breath. And this is where my Feldenkrais training comes in. I show people that when our body's tight and held, it's very difficult to breathe deeply. And I think that's part of why we breathe through our mouth. We go, and we breathe right up here because we're anxious and the breath doesn't go down into our body. When the breath can come down to the body, it regulates your nervous system, feel calmer and more relaxed. And so the deep breath, to do this, if you put your hands on the side of your ribs like this, and just take that breath in for 4 and feel as you do that your ribs can open up. And then as you breathe out for 6, feeling that your ribs come together. So here in the middle of you have a diaphragm, and as you breathe in, the diaphragm goes down, it'll push your belly out a little bit, and then as you breathe out, the diaphragm comes up. Now, this is a practice that a lot of people can't do because they're really held and tight in this. And in my practice, I teach people ways of releasing the ribs so that releasing the diaphragm so the breath is good. And then once we have these three elements, the light, the slow, and the deep. We can put them all together. With the light, as we breathe lightly but down into our belly, until the ribs open up, slowly in that same ratio. And so I'll just take you through a couple of breaths of this. So the light, slow, deep, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, what this also does is there's the nasal cavities produce something called nitric oxide when we breathe in this way. And nitric oxide helps to fight pathogens, but it also has an ability to lubricate the lung, between the lung tissues. And when people get the coronavirus, this is one of the complications when they can't breathe, when they get heart problems, is that the tissues stick together and there's no surfactant in between the tissues. And this surfactant is like if you have two panes of glass and you try and rub them together, there's not much, you can't do that very easily. But if you put some liquid, say like liquid soap or something, between those two panes of glass, it's easy for them to rub together. So this nitric oxide kind of acts like that liquid between the two panes of glass, which he talks about in his book as assisting people to breathe better and hopefully help deal with or make the symptoms of the coronavirus less severe. So I hope I'd love you to try these little exercises for yourself and share them with your friends. Love you to do that. And if you'd like to come along to my next free class next Wednesday at 10 o'clock on Zoom, I'll put the link below in the chat. And if you can't make it live, if you let me know, I can send you the recording afterwards. So this is from Ohlson, signing off from Woman Shine, and may you all stay safe and well. Bye for now.